Well, that's why I decided that maybe I wouldn't do it. This is like $2,500 and $5,000 and $10,000.
They said don't give any, the note said don't feel like you have to give anything. I'm not giving a dime.
The guy's
I'm
great.
not
He's
giving a
$10 million. I don't need to get
I think he's raised more than 20.
Sit on your desk.
Yeah, it's just the door's probably closed.
I'll get to see it.
I got you.
Hello, young man. Nice to see you on Monday.
Not so young anymore. Hey, all right. Hey. What's up?
Oh, start already this morning.
Who do you guys say you're roughing Saturday?
Was it the game?
Greenfield.
That was the one that was sitting
I was
behind
gonna say,
us,
was he
talking
happy?
about it.
Would you say clear the top talking about me?
I was sitting way up top. I tried to wave at you, but
I
you
didn't
must
think
not
it.
see me.
My wife and grandson was sitting, as soon as you come in the gym, clear the top, and there was a couple, there was a husband and wife, older husband and wife, they were sitting there talking bad about me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I asked my wife, I said, well, thanks
Did
for
you stick
helping me.
around for the varsity game?
No.
Dude, you should be glad that you didn't have to ref that one.
Oh, yeah.
That one almost got out of hand.
I figured that it was,
Yeah.
The
The
Greenfield.
Unioto kids were sitting in the Greenfield student section, and they were just yelling at each other, and the superintendent came over and kicked all the Unioto kids out, and the game started getting kind of crazy. The McLean kid grabbed a Unioto kid's leg, lifted it up, and he smacked his head on the ground. And then they called a foul on the Unioto kid, and the crowd went insane. And I was wondering if you were still there for that.
I didn't stay.
It was
That's
wild.
because he wasn't roughing the game.
But
He didn't
yeah.
get him in order here.
Yeah, yeah.
We wouldn't let that happen. All right, we're almost time here.
Said Greenfield in that JV game, Greenfield's up by 15 points and got beat by 3.
Yeah,
They would be up by 15 points and get
Yeah.
beat by 3. But,
That
Oh,
Langhoff
well.
kid saved the JV game for Unioto.
yeah.
3-point shots, all you need is 30 seconds.
And get a kid from Union and give him.
Brad, okay?
What was that? It opened the door behind you. Oh, it was.
All right, I got 9 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call the January 12th meeting to order. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, bills for the week were $5,419,549.33. Planning Commission took up about half of that with HCGP. Engineer was over $376,000 for road work and salt. And commissioners for runway maintenance, runway paving, and a scanner for the courthouse was $419,741. And then the auditor had a Sepco bill for $1,488,688,698.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion that next week's meeting will be on Tuesday, the 20th, because the 19th is a holiday. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Then a now analysis is 0.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. You jump on that one. That's twice. Transfer from the Board of DED operating fund to residential fund of $210,000.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, you played basketball.
Nothing, not roll over here.
I guess you don't shoot paper, right?
Yeah. It's 5 alone.
Another transfer for Jobs and Family Services Public Assistance Fund from the general fund, $37,949.50.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Appropriation of funds from the general fund, capital purchases, from the sales tax account, $257,099, and that's for the maintenance department's capital projects.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Appropriation from the general fund to rent of the Folk Block offices for the juvenile judge and whatnot over there, $27,000.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye. Appropriation of fund to increase the, to cover the costs for juror fees, witness fees, and attorney fees for 2026. This is from the general fund of $58,000.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Appropriation of funds from the Ross County Court System for the magistrate. This is for salaries for the increase for the magistrate shared with probate juvenile courts. So $1,142.
So moved. Second.
All right, everybody say aye.
Aye.
Also from the courts for adult probation. This is to fully fund the existing contract for provision of community service coordinator services entered on September 15th, 2025, $25,152.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Appropriation for the coroner.
If I could, I actually recommend holding off on this one
Okay.
because the POs have not been canceled yet. They have holdover POs from 25. Let us cancel those first. We'll look at their budget. I'm not sure that they need this money. I don't know if you want to appropriate this. We should
Okay.
talk about it.
I will check it out.
Okay.
This, because,
That's what I
not
was
just on
thinking
this,
too,
but.
because I was thinking the same thing, thinking they probably haven't canceled.
Yeah, we haven't canceled them yet. That's gonna take place. We had to wait until after you approve the bills. Shannon and Heather will do that next. But then there's a real question of, customarily they have done this, but it's kind of like what we've talked about, appropriating above and beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we'll deal with it in the work session.
Well, with any of these, I mean, I'm not questioning the need for these appropriations, and this one, if we need to, we will, but we just
Yeah.
did our budget 2 weeks ago, and we're appropriating funds into.
Well, for context, their budget is about $450,000. If you guys do reappropriate that, they're gonna have like $670,000 appropriated. So
Yeah.
we'll talk about
And
it.
they didn't use it in 25 for us
Right.
to take back into the general fund, now they want that in
Right.
Makes sense.
We'll get to it.
All right, let us know. This is next appropriation is for increase to cover the cost of the FOJ allowance as required by Ohio Revised Code for $728.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. This is another cost for cover for the sheriff, cover jail costs in the LEC building from contracts and maintenance by Ross County Maintenance Group, $119,000. And do we know what project that is?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
$119,000 for the jail. What project is that?
It's not a project, it's actually maintenance fees that we pay for anything that they need to have done, their maintenance contracts, all their maintenance contracts.
Okay, so they're just filling account for what comes up during the year. Need a motion?
Let's, we got two of them back to back,
Yeah.
both of them for $119,000.
Well, one's a transfer fund.
Okay, the transferring funds from one to, okay, I got it.
Oh.
So moved.
All right,
Yeah.
yep, yep, so moved, second.
And the transferring funds to cover up that $119,000. Yeah.
Okay.
Got a motion and second there?
Yes.
In whatever order you want to take that in. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Then follow the sequence.
Yeah, because I looked at that and I'm thinking, okay, there's both of them, and I had them both together, and I'm thinking, both of those $119,000, and has to be the same as,
Well, mine was in what I just said before, of
yeah.
appropriating things to serve in here, but.
And beginning of the year gets confusing too, because we de-appropriate, reappropriate,
Yeah. Okay.
where it's found to be not needed is crucial in that. All right, next appropriation is for other expenses for court special projects, and this has to do with the office space construction for the magistrate, I believe, $4,000.
So.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. We're gonna be in a good mood.
I'm in a good mood. I just looking at that to see.
I'm gonna fight just like that game.
Is that what that was, Kathy?
Yes,
That's
that's just the little extra room
Little-
they build upstairs.
Yeah, and they're paying
They're paying
us
for that,
back.
yes, yeah.
Next appropriation is Ross County Juvenile Court, 401 care in custody. And I had to Google LSY Day, or LYS Day, and it was for local yarn shop. But no, this is Lighthouse Youth
Lighthouse.
Services.
Yeah.
It's 2 pages of local yarn shop.
So,
It's $33,899.98.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Appropriation for the drug court subsidy, the OHMAS, Ohio Health and Mental Addiction Services. $12,000 to $34.03. It's covered for the anticipated
So moved.
expenses.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Final appropriation, well, actually this is a transfer from other expenses to remit to state tax department. To transfer appropriations, make payment for the state of Ohio Organized Crime Commission from the vendor's license revenue.
So moved.
$500.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Got some asset disposal, a lot of them are transfers. First one is from the Ross County Juvenile Probate Court. One Optiplex microcomputer, and that's gonna be transferred to the juvenile probate court.
So moved.
Say that again.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. It's coming from the juvenile.
It's come from the
probate
juvenile court to
going
the
into-
juvenile court.
Does that make any sense?
Deanna said that they purchase them and then distribute them to departments, and they have to do a transfer so that it gets onto inventory
Second.
for that department.
Okay, second.
All right, there's gonna be.
Because that just kind of threw me off, because it was going from juvenile court to
Yeah, I
juvenile
was
court.
reading through these last night, and I'm going,
Going to the clerk of court.
Yeah.
all right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Tissue,
What?
tissue.
Oh, tissue. I'm being nice, but I can't hear.
This is the last one.
Okay.
I'll go away. Thank you.
Is this the original copy?
These are copies, but we don't have the original ones.
That's what they use in that department now. They don't have the three.
Okay.
We just make copies and send them where they need to go.
Yep, just making sure.
This one is for 2 computers. From Common Pleas Court number 2. Same thing.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And this next one is for 5 computers from juvenile court server room 2, transferred to the clerk of courts. So that makes a little bit of sense.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Yeah, but it's juvenile clerk of court.
I'm not gonna touch that. Next one's from, for a coffee table from the magistrate's office in the lobby. That's going to auction.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next, I have a application for Derek Cox to attend Bridge School, Columbus. Looks like school's $925, the hotel is $320, and meals $120, so $440. So it's $1,365.
So moved.
Coming out of the engineer fund.
Yep.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next, I have a application here for an amendment to the Welsh Museum, American Heritage Museum grant agreement that increases the grant agreement to $83,838, and that's within the Department of Development financing for that grant. No cost to us, it's just a change in project scope.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next, I have a lease agreement for the Jobs and Family Services Service Center. This is their new 2026 lease. The total for the year lease amount is $107,600 and quarterly installments of $26,900.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I just initial this, Kathy, you sign.
Yeah, that's fine.
Next is appointment of a couple of people to the Ross County, Ohio Children's Trust Fund for child abuse, child neglect, regional provincial council appointments. One's Rihanna Gill and the other is William Showman, and they are re-upping from positions they currently hold for another term.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next, I have Resolution 00326 to increase the travel allowance by private vehicle per mile from 70 cents to 72.5 cents per mile. And that's in line with federal rate.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed on your reimbursement check, it was a little less than you'd asked for because you put 72 cents on there and it was only 70 cents. So it was a little bit less than what the
72 cents
total
didn't
amount
come effective
is.
till January
Exactly.
1st.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You must have only 2 cents.
Retroactive.
You missed
Sorry.
out on 2 cents.
Okay. Next, I have a notice for the deadline extension for purchasing 2025 dog registrations that we've extended from January 31st, 2025 to February 14th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Get your dog tags and pick up Valentine's Day gift.
A new dog.
New dog.
So the Ross County engineer, that is a change from the load limit on 26 bridges in Ross County. Spans greater than 10 feet. They'll be posted and reduced. list of those bridges are here covered. So this is just,
So moved.
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And we have a note from the planning director. From short-term agreement for the comprehensive plan. I think we're gonna go over this later on today. Devin coming in to talk about this.
I think so, yes.
Yeah, so we'll cover that at that time, so, 'cause it's kind of
It's big.
thick for what they changed, and that's for the Cohen project. And then next we have the 2026 SEPCO Wellness Grant Agreement. Grant funds are program funds are $15,330 and administrative funds are $4,000. It's for grant for the continuation of the wellness program.
Also, do we have to designate somebody on that?
Yes, you need to designate. You should
Sarah?
say
Sarah?
Same thing, Sarah, yes, yes.
Good. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Give her something to do.
Thank you.
Hey. Oh, that's right.
I think the only thing we have left is the next topic, and is just Provision Government Solutions.
It's true.
No? Well, that's Board of Revision.
I'll make a motion on the organizational, organizational, is that a word?
That's the word.
Okay. Keep it like it is now. I will take, let's see, David is willing to give up his land bank, and I'll take his land bank.
Okay.
Other than that, everything else is the same. David's in charge of the law library, yes. Ding.
I don't think so.
And we're doing the same
He's
thing.
getting some shovel hit.
Huh?
You're not talking about the Board of Revision?
No.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
I'm like, should I be listening to this?
No, David's still, I'm still doing that, so
Okay.
we're good. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just
Everything's the same.
changing the boards.
We're just changing one board thing, and that's, even though they have the land bank meetings here, and we're all three of us here anyway, so it doesn't make a difference.
And we did get a listing of board assignments from Kathy. These aren't the ones that we have to pass in the meetings, but we have, this is the blue papers that Kathy circulated.
We have to get these to them because this is.
Committees and agencies,
They have to be
2026.
the old ones. These are
The only thing that
practices and procedures.
change I recommend in that is that I've been attending the Convention Facility Authority
That's what I have to do.
instead of David. So
Oh, okay.
change that from him to me. And then you have Dwight on the Planning Commission, put David's name in there.
Oh, we did do that.
It's a copy I got wasn't changed there. We did it for everything else.
Yeah.
I thought you were the convention person anyway, so
Yeah.
that's how we've been operating.
Yeah, I've only been to 2 meetings.
I'll make a motion to accept that, those changes. Second.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
We need to elect officers. I'll make a motion to elect Jack, President of the Board of the Ross County Commissioners, James Lowe, the Vice President of the
Ross County Board of Commissioners.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then we're changing David out of the land bank to streets.
Yeah. Make sure you don't change the law library.
That's tough.
Hey, you can have that if you want.
Yeah.
Can I keep this, Brad? Just keep this, read it now.
No, give it to them after you look at it.
And I got the changes here on this. You already got it?
Yeah.
This is for POR.
Did we change anything from last time?
Well, that's what's highlighted. Talk about it.
Then we received email from Melody Young that Tyler McPhee is ready to resign from the advisory team of the Outdoor Recreation Council of Appalachia. I think we need to take any action on that.
I'll be nice.
I'm checking to see.
And Jeff, the email you sent out on the board of revisions, yes, I'll agree with that.
Well, so there are some revisions. Revision recommended some changes to the rules, and Elizabeth has highlighted those.
Okay, is that the-
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I just gave you.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing before we get into that.
Yeah, I know that, I just wanted to, I was on the calls there for a while.
We got we contribute to the OBRDC as an organization membership to $7,605 for the year.
So moved.
So I'm going to continue that.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We already had a resolution to that effect. I think that's all I have. We do have a proclamation for the National Mentoring Month, which is February, right?
Yes. No, January.
January?
Yes.
Okay, so we're halfway through with that. But we just got this. So do you want me to read it? It's kind of lengthy.
So moved.
What is
That's
it?
a no.
No, what is it?
It's National Mentoring Month for the Paper City Mentoring Project. We're giving
Oh.
a proclamation.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hey, how we doing? Hey, Jim. Good.
Morning, David.
Is that yours or Kathy's? Wait, we don't want to lose that.
Maybe.
All right, it's 9:31. Jeff, I guess the floor is yours.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Organizational meeting of the Ross County Board of Revision was conducted on January 12th, 2026. In attendance were Commissioner James Lowe, Treasurer David Jeffers, Auditor Jeff Leonard, I would like to nominate Udi to be the chairman of the Board of Revision. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
I would like to nominate David Jeffers for the vice chairman. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
I would like to nominate myself as the secretary. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
I gave you a copy of the proposed rules of practice and procedure that have been recommended by Vision Government Services. We'll take a minute to review those. If we don't have any objections, can somebody make a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second that.
Unanimously adopted. I will make a motion to continue to work with Vision Government Solutions as our technical advisor to the Board of Revision for tax year 2025. Do we have a second?
Second.
I will make a motion to dismiss tax year 2025 complaints for the following reasons. Number 1, late filing. Number 2, same interim. Number 3, section 9 value. Number 4, multi-parcels. And number 5, owner name. Do we have a second?
So moved. Or second.
Any objections? Okay. The adders and remitters for calendar year 2025 have been reviewed by the auditor's office, and so this is that second batch, Jeffers, of tax bills that we're going to get ready. And actually, you and I need to talk about that because those are done.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just got an email this morning, so.
Oh, nice.
Have you gotten those to Smart Bill yet?
So yeah, we've got the file over Nature Center's approved this morning, so.
So you and I can follow up on that.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's completed. And unless anybody has anything else for the Board of Revision, I will make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
I'm trying to.
Hello, Rudy, you wanted to keep
I'm
going?
on the rounds over here.
All right, we are adjourned, and we've only gotten like 9 applications, which is a little surprising following a reevaluation. And I've kind of thought about it. You know, we had those values online since September, and we had hundreds of informal hearings, so we may not have that big of a caseload even with the reevaluation.
I think once the bills go out, that we'll see a jump.
I say when the bills go out,
Yeah.
we'll find
Yeah.
out to see.
So I don't know, but we'll, the application,
And their deadline is
March 31st. Yeah.
31st.
So we've got plenty of time on that. So when the window closes, I sent you guys an email this morning, I don't know if you saw it. I asked Kelly Gorey if it's possible, when somebody provides an actual appraisal, if we can review those as the BOR without having to hold a hearing. And she said yes. And for anybody who's willing to provide an actual appraisal, that might be a good way to reduce the caseload, because that's what we would do in the BOR anyway. So we've gotten, I think, 2 or 3 of those 9. So if you guys agree, we can probably get together in April and review those appraisals. And for any that we want to make the decision on, we really don't have to have.
Without having a meeting.
Well, I was about to say too, in that case too, if we review and still want to have a hearing, we can, correct?
Yeah, it's our right to have the hearing if we want to, but you know, if somebody comes in with an appraisal that makes sense.
No problem doing a review and that, seeing if we can avoid everybody having to have a
Right.
hearing.
So we'll see, but I'll keep you posted.
We just have to check to make sure that the appraisal they have is from somebody who does a appraisal.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be
Yeah,
certified.
it's gotta be certified and make sure that.
Yeah, we still got to do our due diligence.
Yeah, we still
and if
gotta
we
do
have
our
questions, then we
second
have the
look at it.
opportunity
Right.
for a hearing, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's it.
Well, I said your meeting would last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it lasted 4.
What's that?
I said your meeting would last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It lasted 4.
I appreciate your
Formality.
expediency.
We're good.
Yeah.
Brevity is a superpower.
I'll see you fellas here in a little bit. I've got land bank this morning
All
too.
right, thanks, Jeff.
Yep.
Hey, do you want to keep one of these?
Brad, you got something?
I got a few things. All right, you don't need anything else?
No?
All right, keep my pen and I'll get a note.
All right.
Good, how are you?
I showed this to David McGinnis Friday, but we handed that out at the service center last week. That project started this morning.
That's exciting.
Got a time sheet, and then I've got
So I have a motion to accept Brad's timesheet.
I guess.
All in favor, say aye.
I thought he was in a good mood.
We
Yes, I
worked
is,
on
huh?
it. We've done our job, haven't we?
Thank you. This is a preventative maintenance contract for the jail for all the HVAC stuff that we have over there. And if you look at page 2 here, tells you all the things that they're looking at here. So we've got 18 pumps over there, variable frequency drives, air handling units. This is what they service for us, and here's the many times that they do it during the year. And then there's, in the back here, it actually spells out each one of them. But this is a 4% increase over last year's contract.
Should we have our local expert look this over?
I just had a look at
I
it.
scanned it. I scanned it.
So it's $1,172 higher than last year, right?
Yeah.
You pay that just a lump sum.
We usually do. Just when Mr. Pinkerton looked at it there, he noticed that last year's contract had four times to pay it a year, but if you pay it that way, it's a little bit more money, even more than that. So we've always just paid it one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. It must be me or something. I smell antifreeze.
I smell sausage and bacon.
That's what I.
Well, I smelled something in the hallway. It wasn't the same smell as the bacon usually is every
That's
day.
just
Yeah,
no
it's like,
different.
it's
It's
like
Well, it's very
syrup.
different. I mean,
Syrup,
it's
yeah.
it's not the regular, I
Syrup.
should
Smells
say,
syrup.
Yeah.
maybe that's what it is.
Is it
Syrup.
syrup?
Because it's a sweet, it's a sweet, you know, that antifreeze sweet smell to it.
Maybe it's maple flavored bacon or something.
Yeah, that's what I.
Yeah.
Or antifreeze flavored mint.
Going down every morning and bake for it.
Oh, yeah, that's just, it is. I thought maybe it was just me there for a while.
I smelled it earlier too. Usually it's just bacon.
Yeah, that's just it. Usually it's bacon flavor.
That's all I have for now.
So are you looking for the New Year's resolutions
I am.
today?
Mhm. If you want to do it still, if not, it's okay.
Yeah. Let's get it done there. Complete all projects we've already started for,
Yeah.
in 2025 and 2026.
Hmm?
Complete all projects we had started.
Here, I'll.
Should
Do you
we
want to do it
probably-
now?
Yeah, let's do it now.
Okay.
We got 20 minutes, that's fine.
I'll go one by one. Whenever you're ready.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good, you're good, you're good.
My resolution for the county is to complete all the projects we already started, and continue the growth of the county. That's it.
Thank you. Whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready. I agree that we need to complete what we started. There's some detail in that needs to be examined and thought through, such as funding for the improvements that we're looking at for the county. That's easy to say and hard to do. So that's going to be the bulk of the year, is trying to figure out how to facilitate those plans and get them in action so that they don't just sit on the shelf for the next 20 years. And that's our main mission for next year, this year.
Thank you.
I think they covered it. I might think a little longer.
Yeah, it's okay, take your time.
Yeah. I can't think of anything. I don't want to.
That's a lot of ground.
But, and you said they started,
Started this morning at 7 o'clock. We had 2 pre-construction meetings with them, and they're gonna start on the, what's the south end of the building, down by JFS, and do all that hallway, do the upstairs where EMA is. We talked to them, we got some boxes for them to move their stuff around.
Okay.
We'll probably finish that bathroom that's up there, and then that big break room, and then move their office into that break room and let them finish the rest of that.
How's the quads? Are they under any kind of revision now? Because I got a One Ohio meeting this week.
Not until, if you look at that schedule that's on there, on those back pages, there's a couple pictures, and that'll be the last thing we do,
I figured that'd be last thing.
just because of the time that it's gonna take to get those mechanical walls.
So, have they given the end date, projected end date for the project?
Yeah, there's, if you look there, I put how many days each section's supposed to take.
100 plus.
I have a schedule too, but the schedule shows the upstairs being done last. We've moved that forward, so they're revising the schedule when I have that.
So there's no overlap. We count these days up, and that's our
it.
target end date.
Yeah.
So right now, Brad, we can use the quads?
Yes.
Okay,
And really for quite a while.
that's what I thought, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna do all that hallway stuff first,
Okay.
and then wait for
150
that.
days.
148 days. And that's 5 days
Grab a
a week,
sketch.
right? I think that was my weekend. That's 29 and a half weeks. So that's seven.
This
7 and a half
schedule, this
months.
schedule here says they'll be done, looks like
August sometime.
May. No, they should be done before that.
They working 5 days a week or 7?
Final completion is 6/26 of 26.
6.
So June, end of June, 1st of July.
So they work at 7 days a week?
No, but they
There's
are,
overlap.
they are gonna work some weekends because of the hallway stuff when they put that down, that vinyl plank, they gotta do some Ardexing and some glue, and that stuff smells bad, so they're gonna do some at night, some during the day, some weekends, just depends on what they're doing.
Okay. Good. And we- You've got a meeting tomorrow with US Medical Glove about the airport. When is it?
I still have not heard back.
I haven't heard back.
No, I told David that this morning, I guess you guys maybe are gonna go see them today or something, today or tomorrow. Okay.
They have a fundraiser over there for the.
I think David said he was
Yeah.
going, so. No, I've not heard back from her.
Okay.
You're not going? I figured that, never mind, I'll stay out of it. I'll be nice.
Be nice.
I will.
It's your day to be nice.
I'm always nice, yeah. Why's everybody laughing?
Because they know you. You see that email we got from Kingston Youth League, baseball, softball sponsorship?
Yeah.
I'd say it was probably pretty generic, because it looks
Yeah.
like it went to more businesses than, but
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
want to, I didn't want to just stick it in my folder with what you guys seen it.
I think that we do our part supporting the park system. And that could hemorrhage you to death. Everybody would go club or ball team or whatever.
How you doing? Pretty good. Good.
Then Charlie's, or the email that we got for the salt shack,
How you doing?
engineering paid $75 last year.
I haven't seen a message back from Arleta or not.
Kathy, did you do anything with that letter from the Historical Society? Remember that guy wanted a resolution? They were applying for a grant or something, and I sent that to you.
We asked him to, you asked him to write a letter.
He wanted us to write a letter of support for him.
Yeah, but I thought you were gonna ask him to put it down what you wanted it.
I don't even know where that went. I don't even have that now.
Let me make 10:30.
On the 8th, Brian, January 8th.
Hey, the coroner's POs have been canceled now. And so if you guys want to, you can deal with their appropriation request. What's that?
It's been canceled out.
So we had to, that's what we talked about when it first came up. We had to pay the bills and then cancel unneeded carryover.
Right.
POs for the coroner's office. And so now that's done. Their request is that you guys reappropriate that money and add it to the budget for this year. But
Hey, when you say butts.
Well,
I know, I got
I
it.
can see where it's going.
Yeah, I can see, I
There's
was
definitely-
thinking, well, you said something about they needed adjustment because I don't want to approve
yeah,
that money that,
they have a $450,000 budget, and then they've got another like $118,000 in carryover POs from last year
Right.
that are legitimate and should be there. But they have $568,000 in there with a $458,000 budget. And so they're asking for you guys to reappropriate
another 91.
$91,000 from unneeded money from last year.
Right.
I don't think you should do that.
Yeah.
So
I'm not blind.
I don't know how do you need to make a motion and then reject it or what? Because they did make a
yeah.
request.
I think we reject the appropriation request.
Okay. Well, you guys can deal with that one now if you want to.
Okay, so the money's been moved.
So,
Okay, I think David made a motion.
second. To reject the 91,000.
Reject it,
Okay.
yeah. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So what that will do is add $91,800 to general fund cash. So you've grown your carryover and reduced theirs.
I think as we discussed Friday, we're in a position to begin really monitoring the general fund with more scrutiny than what we have in recent years, especially if we might have plans to spend down some $1,000 for projects. We have a tight 2026 operating budget that matches our anticipated revenue. We have to appropriate more later through the year. We will, yeah. But it's January.
We just did the budget, and that's what, we keep.
Well, I think we ought to review what we've done and how it's performing versus how we predicted it should be. In business, you have a monthly review, monthly financial review, just to see how you're doing. We don't produce statements or anything like that. But I don't know if there's a quick and dirty way through VIP, Jeff, to get performance reports by department. I would think there would be.
Yeah, we can do, I think it would be an audit trail report that shows what's been appropriated and what's been spent year to date. And I think if you were to look at that monthly, you'd always be on the pulse of
Yeah, the trouble is the routine expenses typically are not seasonal, they're not routine.
Yeah.
They surge
Yeah.
and then disappear for a while. So,
Yeah.
you know, have to budget to that's kind of difficult. I mean, to know what you're gonna spend annually is good, but what you're gonna spend month by month is difficult.
I think that it's a bad idea to implement that as part of like an end of month meeting every month. Is maybe you pop up and we make that an item and say, where are we with, how are we performing compared to where we are with the budget? Because that to me makes the budget even more of a useful tool when we're tracking and measuring ourselves against it. And that's how we keep an eye on the spending side of things, but then also on the revenue side of things of how we're performing in comparison. Now, I don't think the revenue side will be as variable because we only have, it's quarterly incremental income, right, on sales tax, and then twice a year for property tax, right?
I mean, fees come in every day, just depending on what's going on. You know, whatever fees the county charges for the various services. Sales tax comes in a monthly distribution from the state, so we get that every month. And then it's 2-time property tax collections. Yeah.
You know, and I think that with 11 departments and then 28 individual budgets that we touch, I think a management by exception methodology would work best coming out of the gate, because I don't want to tie up 9 hours in a review of all the budgets line item by line item.
Yeah.
Just where things are starting to go sideways.
Yeah.
I think we need to get tuned up on that. And, you know, if we make any decisions, if we have oversight responsibility, certainly we do. For those that we don't, maybe just heads up to them that, hey, I'm watching this cost and it's not aligning with how it's predicted to go. I want you to be aware, like the health department and DD and things like that.
Good business.
Mm-hmm.
That's good business.
Yeah, that is just good business. You don't manage your costs, you don't manage your business, right? So can we probably get that polished up, Jeff, and get your help in that clear report? Okay.
Actually, probably the simplest way to do it would be once a month, just put it up on the screen, and in VIP Analytics, we can see what the budget is and what the spending year to date is, without having to produce a bunch of paper that ends up in the
Right.
recycling bin.
I think that's the best way to do it. Just do that together, and then that way everybody knows where things are going.
Yeah. Okay. You can do it.
Then we have this next meeting. That's a prime example. But we have to have a little bit of oversight to do anything about it. I mean, this is one of those give them a heads up things, but we don't have any authority over it. Not yet. That's why we're asking to renegotiate the contract. So we'll leave it open session.
For sure.
And listen to what they have to say. I think you can have them come in, you can open that door back up there.
Come on in, folks.
She's fun to watch.
Need help over? Brian, how you doing, buddy? Good. JD, how you doing?
How are you doing?
Good, sir.
How we doing?
Good. Morning, guys.
Getting ready to head up this weekend?
Yes, sir. We'll go up Thursday afternoon.
That's when I'm going. Ain't staying Sunday.
No.
You guys find somebody to, it ain't gonna be.
It ain't gonna be you,
Ain't
huh?
gonna be me.
Where you going?
We don't have chip anymore. We
Fair
just stick in.
convention.
Huh?
Oh,
Hey, since we ain't started, they wanted to go ahead and do we got another year, but another contract on that golf course. So I'll have to find you to sign up for,
Do we? Yeah.
it's gonna go up like $5.
Well, I sent Barry the one for Smash It too, because he wanted to look at it, because he'll want to.
We've still got a year, but they said
No,
that,
this is over.
no, we've still got, we don't really have to sign it till next year, but you guys would,
Yeah.
because they're kicking out fairgrounds.
Oh, the golf cart people are.
Yeah, 'cause they ain't got enough.
Yeah.
Said this year really messed them up.
Really?
Something about that big clay pigeon shoot or something up north. Yeah, falls a week early.
Well, the schedule is messed up, just like it is from the fair.
Light counties, there's a week between us now.
I know, it doesn't make any sense.
We picked the right week, they didn't.
We got about a minute with it.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll find you up there when we're done doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they said it was largely to do because of the amount of rentals they're bringing to us. They can't supply a couple small fairs.
Well, I can't imagine anybody uses any more than we do.
Right. Cardinal, that's a place that does have trap shoots. When we do this.
Did everybody get a chance?
I don't know. Did you guys sign
I
this?
got a J.
All right, I have 10 o'clock.
Okay, Jack, it's, and board members, I'm Jim Hatfield, we're a group that's representing the trustee association and members of the senior citizen group, Adelphi and Bainbridge group. We prepared a statement we'd like to read to you
Okay.
that we prepared. Mrs. Libby, or Spears will read that to you,
All right.
and we'll present you a copy for your trial.
All right, thank you.
Commissioners Everson, Lowe, and Glass, we are writing with regard to the management agreement by and between the Ross County Board of Commissioners and the Ross County Committee for the Elderly Incorporated, which was originally executed July 21st, 2014, the agreement. It is our understanding that this agreement is the mechanism by which the Ross County Senior Center, a county asset, is operated and managed by the Ross County Committee for the Elderly Incorporated, a private entity. The undersigned are elected officials, community leaders, and affected senior citizens of Ross County, all of whom share a desire to see significant reform and improved services for the senior centers or senior citizens of our community. We have previously raised a variety of concerns regarding the Ross County Committee for the Elderly Incorporated, RCCE, which is a private organization that selects its own hand-picked board members, installs its own preferred officers, sets its own salaries, and generally operates with no meaningful oversight from any organization or entity except itself. The lackluster results for seniors speak for themselves. Despite being a county of more than 77,000 residents, 16 townships, and 6 villages, the only services provided to seniors anywhere in the county occur solely in the city of Chillicothe. There were previously satellite locations in Frankfort, Bainbridge, and other areas which provided services to seniors where they live, yet all of them now sit closed and neglected. Meanwhile, RCCE pays increasingly significant salaries to its few officers, and director of whom is paid more than most of our countywide officials. The pattern is clear. The quality of services provided to seniors continues to go down, while the salaries of the RCCE's insulated officers go up, up, up. There is no meaningful oversight of RCCE since the only board members are selected by the RCCE and who then rubber stamp and support the RCC officers who selected them for the board. Despite being an operation which is entirely supported by taxpayers, none of the taxpayers' elected officials or leaders have any actual authority to influence or direct the operations of the Ross County Senior Center. This is unacceptable. In November 2025, we led the opposition to the renewal of the Ross County Senior Center levy for the reasons described above. We have no confidence in the current leadership of the RCCE, and as such, we cannot support throwing more taxpayer money at such a failing structure. The Ross County Senior Center can be managed much more effectively and equitably under alternative leadership. The agreement automatically renewed for a 1-year term on or about January 1st, 2026, and will now run through December 31st, 2026. However, Section 4.01 of the agreement provides that the Ross County Board of Commissioners may terminate the agreement with RCCE by providing notice in writing at least 6 months prior to the schedule for commencement of a new term of its desire to terminate upon the expiration of the then current term. Accordingly, the Ross County Board of Commissioners can terminate its agreement with the RCCE by providing notice to this effect on or before July 1st, 2026, at which point the agreement with the RCCE would terminate at the end of 2026. This would enable the Ross County Board of Commissioners a full year to plan for the alternative management structure for the Ross County Senior Center, ensuring that services can be improved starting January 1st, 2027, with no adverse effects on the senior community. We urge you to terminate the agreement with the RCCE on or before July 1st, 2026, and to begin preparations for the appointment of alternative leadership of the Ross County Senior Center. We have many ideas for what that structure could look like and would appreciate the opportunity to share those with you in greater detail. For instance, the Ross County Senior Center could be managed by a new alternative private entity or by a local entity comprised of various township and county elected officials or their appointees, or by the Board of Commissioners itself, much like any other county agency or department. We believe any of these alternative structures would be superior to RCCE. We know that the Ross County Board of Commissioners shares our commitment to the well-being of senior citizens in our community. We look forward to working with you to address the concerns above. However, if no action is taken to replace RCCE, we will again oppose any efforts to pass a levy for the Ross County Senior Center in 2026 and urge all other citizens to do so as well. Thank you for your consideration.
I appreciate the kindful consideration you gave to that. And, I guess we kind of took care of that last week. I sent them a letter of termination and put the 6 months advance. So we've already done what you've asked in that regard. I think we do need to have a comprehensive thought as to how it's put back together. Who the players are, in my mind, are undetermined. I'm not ruling out Jody and Janet, but we got to have some change. We got to have full coverage of the county, and I'm not saying yes or no. I'm not saying yes or no. I don't know. So I think we have to find out. But I agree that I understand certain things happened during COVID and whatnot that affected and impacted the fluidity of what was theirs, with Bainbridge and Adelphi included prior to that time. Am I correct in saying that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the costs certainly have gone up since 2020 as well. So the fundings remain the same. So I'm taking everything into account. I have to be fair and be empathetic with everybody to arrive at the best situation. And I think the board looks at it the same way. We have to look at both sides.
Okay, we have some, this is not new for me, but I went through this, the trustees went through this with the health district several years ago. We had the same situation. We had top heavy. We wasn't getting, and they was asking for more money. So that levy went down with the non-support of the trustee association. It went down to bare bones. Those leaders were gone. We reorganized, went back to the basics, and today, that's a healthy district because it was the same situation. We had board members that cozied up to the administrators and held their board meetings in private before the regular board meeting. So we worked on that. The only way to solve this issue, you wipe everything out. New leadership, new boards, and my suggestion, and I don't know where we haven't went to, we will go for an association meeting with suggestions. We got 16 townships in Ross County. I feel, and I think I've got the support of the association, each township would appoint somebody in their township to represent their township, and then board maybe a commissioner, a president of the commissioner board would chair that. And we need to start all over, and we need to get back to basic. That's an organization, a great organization that has been run by a small group of individuals for self-centering monetary means. That's the way I see it, and if you see it any other way, that's your opinion. But that's my opinion. I've seen it happen. So we would like to be a part of that reorganization, and I think we're willing to do that. So, and if anybody, I did put JD and Brian and Kathy and whatever the spokesman on the list. So if they have anything to add to what I've added to, I feel that you need to speak up. You agree that we ought to be a part of this reorganization?
Like to be.
I tend to agree with that.
Okay.
I think the more that the input that we have, the better the solutions we're going to arrive at. But we had to trigger procedural things to have a say over how things were being run. Because we had, by the contract, we had no authority over that, none. And you know, that kind of arrangement where you're supported by a board that supports the leadership, that's a way just to circle into a death spiral for any business. There are no businesses, and if it doesn't have outside influence and checks and balances, it's not going to survive. So I think, excuse me, that's kind of what that's become. And it's easy to get trapped in that when you're calling your own shots and have nobody backing up.
And again, it's a carbon copy of what I dealt with, and we dealt with as trustees with the health district. They suffered for a short period of time. Took a year or so to reorganize the board. We select board members as a district advisory council, and we selected qualified board members that wasn't part of the group, and turned it around, and the organization. But it's a shame. That's a good organization. They need to go back to the basics and start having parties down there and whatever they're having or whatever they're doing. They won't let you in, so you know what they're doing. But the meals delivered to these shut-ins and people that can't get out, they can have their organizations and their little bingo parties or whatever, but they need to do the first things first, and that's what that was really designed for, because I remember it was. But when you get an organization like down there, you just got an organization that's just open to corruption. So,
well, I just wanted to make sure you knew we took.
Yeah, I was aware of that, but we wanted to prepare that statement. We want to get it to you. So, anybody else?
Yeah, she wanted to say
I want
something.
to say something. I have a little different insight. I'm on the board, newly elected,
Okay, yeah.
to Adelphi site to represent them. And I've been to about 5 meetings, and what I see is absolutely ridiculous. That board has nothing, it's not a board. It's Jody and Janet runs everything, and the board, all we do is read minutes from the last meeting. Anything new? No, adjourned. That's it. I said, what is this board for? And I question them all the time, and I get shut down because I'm not in their group, and I get shut down every meeting. I question something, and they just shut me down because I'm not in the group. And it really, like he says, we need to start fresh with everybody. Everybody's got to go, and I don't care if I'm part of it, that's fine. Everybody's got to go, and we got to start over. That's the only way this is going to get better for the senior citizens. We've got to have a new vamp of everybody new. Get new ideas in there, new people, new everything. Because it's only run by 2 people. 2 people is running that whole thing, dictating everything. And they got to go.
JD?
I just said, from the start, I hate to see this have to happen. And I think we just need to put all that behind us, start fresh. I represent my township, and I felt like we were getting the short end of the stick, and that's why we all took after it. But, let's not divide and get to picking sides and hating this guy, and I don't want to see that. I just like to see us move on and make it right.
Something that works.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Let's not just get, picking sides and picking up guns and that type of thing.
Anybody else?
I'd like to say I appreciate what you've done already. That shows you're already thinking about it.
Yeah.
Appreciate everything you've done. Not here to point fingers.
Right.
Can't say don't look at the past, gotta look at the past to learn, but don't dwell on the past, let's just make it right. Let's figure out a way to make it right.
Yeah.
Mr. Banner represents Payne Township.
Yeah, I was here just because I felt like there's something needed to change, and it sounds like we're going in the right direction.
For those of you who know, I'm from Twin.
Yeah.
Can't say I'm really representing them right now because we didn't talk about it, but I'm from Twin.
Yeah, I've talked to your people.
I'm pretty sure I am, but.
Yeah, I've talked to all of them. So we're in total agreement with what we like, what we need to be done. That's everybody gone, knew everything. And I really would like for us to be a part of that reorganization, to have some voice in it somewhere. Because I think we can all work together and make it happen. Because it's a great organization. I know there's people that's been friends of mine and friends of everybody that I talk to. Been on a list for years for meals to be delivered. So we can't deliver you a meal. We'll put you on the list though, and then call next year and it's another list. That's what the program was designed for. It wasn't designed to go down there and play bingos, have birthday parties and so on. And that's all fine if you can do that, but not on the taxpayer's dollar. So thank you for your time. Thank you for what you do.
Yep.
And,
Anybody got any comments? Because
yeah, anybody else got any?
I would just say, as Jack said, we have made notice of our intent. We have made notice that we're canceling the existing contract. I think you laid out some options in the letter. I want to reread that. I think where I would say I am right now is the mechanism to do that. Anything's on the table right now, but what I'm looking for in some new iteration of this is increased transparency, meaning that regardless of whatever argument might exist, we're going to lay out very clearly that any entity that is utilizing public tax dollars or is exclusively funded by public tax dollars must operate as if they are a public entity, adhering to sunshine laws, adhering to open board meetings. I think that structurally the most important thing is to change the way in which the board of directors are appointed, and I think that in other in other instances where there's a nonprofit operating on behalf of the county, there's some tie of authority by the county to operate that. That protects the interests of the residents, and it provides oversight to the local government. That's something we're lacking in the current contract. And then, of course, the two other things I think you guys would appreciate, because have been mentioned here before, which is, you know, better representation or better service countywide. I think that includes the satellite facilities in Adelphi and in Bainbridge. I wouldn't say that necessarily, for me, need to be in the contract. I think the important thing is having the board of directors with that mindset of how are we going to make this work, and here's the intentions. But speaking to countywide service is important. And then just, I think, the thing that that has led to much of this is a high overhead cost in operation versus costs going to services. So I'd like to see that improved. But I think that there's a lot of alignment here, and I think what we're looking for is something that's in the best interest of the county, and we'll be spending the next 12 months or so working on that so that we can start 2027 fresh and with a better structure that provides better service to the citizens. So I appreciate you guys coming in, and I appreciate your engagement throughout this. It's important.
You know, I think that just about every other board that private entities have that get taxpayer dollars through the Board of Commissioners office, we have to sign off on who gets to be appointed to the boards, except that one. I think that's the only one I can think of that we have no say in who they have on the boards, who their executive officers are, how much they get paid. I mean, it wasn't that the previous commissioners were lackluster in their responsibilities, they just didn't have that authority in those responsibilities. And we've decided that it's time to utilize what's the provisions in the contract to change that and make it run like any other county board. So I think we're doing what we can right now within the provisions of the contract, and that is to change the contract. So who's on the board and who's represented and whose voices are heard, we'll change that in this change of the contract. So I'm just asking for patience, and you clearly understand that by the words in your message. So I'm looking forward to getting this resolved. I think this is exciting, and I think that getting it back and funded the way it should be funded to get the essential services, there should be no waiting list. There should be no waiting list. So I'm looking forward to getting this taken care of in the negotiation stage for this year, and then kicking it off in 2027 for a better service.
Again, we'd like association would like to be a part of that dialogue suggestion, because I just think we're very diverse group, where we represent the whole county very well by 16 different areas in the county, and I just think, and there's a lot of technology we've discussed. JD discussed. There's a lot of different technology anymore. Yeah, you've got these factor meals. That's everybody in other companies that's got these. They deliver them once a week. You microwave them in 2 minutes. You don't even have to have that kitchen in that group over there. That's the facility. We're in the old age over there. We need innovation. I think you just cut down on a lot of things. You could have those delivered right to their home.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic
Well,
idea.
you know, we can't sell short the benefit of fellowship either.
Yeah, and fine.
People that's living by themselves and
Right.
have no other contract, they need that too. But to
Yeah.
your point, there should be no waiting list.
No.
And maybe that's a great way to do that.
Yeah. So, okay.
I was just saying that I think that instead of kind of working at the top down out here, we should go out in the county, and the people that really need help and service, they ought to be the first ones addressed in this, bringing this up, and take care of them, because they have no access, none of that. They should be looked at first in this whole scheme of things.
I totally agree with that.
Because they're the ones that need it the worst. So,
We'd be happy to be a part of it and help these ladies, all the trustees. We're a bunch of old people too. So we'd be happy to.
Voice of the customer, that's the best information you can get.
Well, I'll be happy to help you. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. Thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Yeah.
I see you fellas.
Okay.
Like I say, hate to eat and run, but I'm pretty sure you're glad to get out.
Really is great.
See ya. Good to see you guys.
Yeah. Pay for the meal and pay for the shipping. Yeah.
Lunch Wednesday.
Okay, I'll say.
Yeah, for sure.
I would like to take a second time to talk about
Good to see you. How are you?
Good.
You were
How are you? Good evening, sir.
You did a great job.
Thank you. Through the commissioner.
Friday would be the best day for me. Or unless you would want to come out for our senior luncheon, we're in the right direction. That's on Wednesday. Doors open at 10, and we serve the meal at 11:30. So I will be there. This is at the Adult Community Center. Yes, on 1759 Market Street. That's what we've been doing in lieu of having our senior center. We have a
You guys are late, didn't get that back row.
I know. I know.
I told you have to move, he's in his spot.
What's up in the
Wes is out there banging stuff around him.
Did you hear me out there?
He
said he's here. Right? I hear him.
I hear him, he's here.
Yeah. I made it through the metal detector and all that, get up here and knock everything.
Okay, you give it to me and when you talk about.
How you guys doing?
Still here.
Yep.
So far.
Yeah.
2 years.
Yes.
No, I haven't had it. It's so hard to have a chance. I run sewer services. It's so hard to find time to do anything else. And then, of course, the senior center, trying to
Hi, Gabe. Sure. How you doing, sir? Fine. How are you? Barely, right? Underwater about up to you?
That's how it feels. And I think I speak for everyone.
We all are. Are you going back to the office?
No, the guys right now, Brian Bocher, head of Jefferson, and I said, they can show you.
Well,
It's on
we had a
the-
check in hand today.
Yeah.
So it was back up.
Okay.
And then, but he still has some
Well, that's the original, and then there's a proposal, and then there's an amendment to that. So I don't think it's gonna be as bad as it looks there.
our sand filters on every one of their systems. And that's probably what they saw, they didn't have, usually have wood slats across them. And that's probably what is my guess. Now, they've got something across all of them.
Who's the gentleman you have that goes out and looks for some stuff, trash?
Well, the person that did have left in October, the new person, on that side of the county that has Union Township, the west side of the county. His name is Ryan McAdoo.
He might do more. She's a favorite.
I'm wondering if he's the one that's off of the
They have an estimate.
Yes.
view of what's happening. Because I have a lot of questions.
We have sent the second. So we sent our first order, we did the total inspection, and then
And then we have one other. I just sort of gave the list of vehicles, trash.
Are you here for the meeting? Are you here for the
Yes.
Yeah. We're not done with you yet today.
Okay. Actually, I saw your email last week. Did you respond? About talking about the funding for courthouse project again?
We requested that.
I know, yeah, and I said I was available today, but I followed up with like, what time were you guys thinking?
Yeah. Oh, okay. What time did we do for that? I think it was 1 o'clock.
Yeah. I'm glad I asked. You told me around my lunch time.
Yeah, good lunch early.
All right, I gotta eat lunch a little earlier today.
Hey, there he is.
Morning.
How you doing?
Exciting.
Come on, be nice. We made him be nice today.
I was nice. I didn't even say anything. I was nice.
There's two. There's another one too.
One thing I didn't put on last night.
Do you really want to?
Too busy working last night.
Yeah, and like I said, how are you? Feel free to call me, I'll let you know where the house is.
I need to take all of their emails to all their doctors' offices. I need to take that original to all of their doctors' offices. They'll need the original. Okay.
I mean, that's one of the.
Because you need the original.
No.
A lot of business. You guys have to.
Great.
Well, we
Building sitting there.
we had to put in a contract or renegotiate.
Because I had wrote that in the notes that you would say you would drive, and I had told him that too, and he said
Yeah.
he could, he did do that.
Jim Barry.
Good for you. How about yourself?
I think our letter to Lou stated everything.
What we doing?
Cheers.
I don't either.
Got a good Christmas, New Year?
Absolutely. 64 whole years.
Oh, yeah. I had a New Year, man. That was a big hike.
Because you know, they revert back
Part of
to
the
everything.
Florida trail there. That was fun. My feet were still sore about a week ago.
Yeah, they were running. Yeah.
That's why I keep bringing up, you know, go to the bathroom, they want to stay the same.
I was pretty wore out, so I did it 4 days.
Right.
So my pack weight was a little over 20 pounds.
Well,
It gets heavy over 6 months. I couldn't believe my mom.
Oh, no, I just like, I just
I don't know here, but I mean, it was still, that's just shit. She won't wake up. She went 640, you think it's supposed to be nuts?
Now I don't.
I've been wanting to do that for a while.
Hey, there's one right here. Here, one right here. Well, she made it, but.
All right, I have 10:30.
You need history.
Yeah, where's your gavel?
I'm not
Bang that. Gavel Sanders. All right, we will call the meeting of the land bank to order. We're gonna have a pretty quick meeting today, I believe. We have circulated the November meeting minutes. I believe they were circulated email last week as well. Once we have a opportunity to review, I will entertain a motion to approve the November meeting minutes.
I'll
make that motion.
Thank you. Can I
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. Now we'll have the treasurer's report.
We circulated a year-end income statement. This has not been audited, but in 2025, I guess you said 2026, but 2025, revenue we brought in was $446,000 and we spent $265,000. And then year-end cash was $198,000. And this year we have brought in $39,000 in grants and spent almost $40,000 in projects.
Any questions or discussions on the treasurer's report? Hearing nothing, I'll entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. All right, we're going to run through old business. Not a lot to update other than just sort of practical check-ins here, but we have, I believe, actually in town this week, demolition happening. 2 or 3 different sites, I think, on the item A. This would be those properties that were on the list that we submitted probably a year or so ago, and they're now under contract after the approval of the grant. Demolitions proceeding. These are both in the city and out in the county. I think Kingston has multiple properties. Two in Kingston, yeah. So we're off to the races. A good way to start 2026. The Brownfield grant, dirt's moving. This is the property on East 7th Street next to City Transit. As these things go, there's some testing along the way, dirt moving, more testing. Some tests came back for, I think, a higher level of arsenic than anticipated, or at least showed up on the original testing. So we don't think that really changed anything in terms of remediation, but it is a requirement along the way. So I would say that everything's moving as predicted on that Brownfield grant. That's the one that we're operating now. And then we did submit last fall the next round of Brownfield applications. The state, I think, is learning the practical nature of, for both the building demolition and revitalization and the Brownfield grants, that because of the access agreements that are required and sort of the intended future uses, the state is becoming more flexible with us subsequent properties. Because what happens, or what has happened, especially in the first one, is we'll get a list of 20 properties, and when we start to apply pressure, somebody comes in, fixes the place up. We don't want to demolish those. On the Brownfield side, what will happen is somebody might have an option on a property, it's a Brownfield site, but something falls through on sale, it's that sort of thing. So we have some flexibility coming up in 26 for the application that we put in the fall of last year, that we could swap properties in and out. I think that the burden and the opportunity for the people in this room is that we just need to continue to develop a Brownfield list. We just need to have places that are ready to go. And whether that's testing that we do now or testing that we do in the future when we know about them. The easy ones to identify are like abandoned gas stations, right? But some of the harder ones are ones that either are off our radar or we've forgotten about. It's a big county. We just need to continue to accrue that list. Tax foreclosure process update. I will update that at least one of them we attended a hearing. Was that last year, Gabriel, or this year? I think it was last year.
It was, yeah, so it was last year.
It was at the tail end. Well, I think Judge Ader was about to go on a Christmas vacation or something like that. So he was in a good mood.
That's correct.
It was right before the year ended. So we have gone through one of those processes, and I think that there are multiple, both in front of Judge Ader and Judge Schmidt. That's at least my side of things. And Gabriel, if you want to.
Not a whole lot. We did indeed have a hearing before Judge Ader, and he actually gave some positive feedback both to the city and to the prosecutor's office on this. I'm not expecting that to happen again, but it's good to get it when you do it. I guess what I'm kind of focusing on, and I talked to Tricia on Friday about this, is kind of the next stage in this is taking advantage of the mechanisms by which the land bank can kind of cut in line in the real estate auction process to when there aren't any bids to get it more quickly into the hands of the land bank. But that's something that we'll be focusing on this year. Otherwise, the big update is with the next item of business, the petition process. The entries have all been signed on that. I have realized over the past couple of months that I absolutely suck at proofreading, and so I had to file some amended entries to correct some typos and spelling mistakes and stuff like that. Otherwise, we have gotten some positive feedback both from the court and from members of the community about this process, and we'll continue the process. I have a stack of properties to get title searches on that we'll be getting that soon, and we'll be continuing the process, and that's pretty much it.
Great, thank you. Just want to say, again, thank you to the prosecutor's office. We're for the first time getting to the point where we're going to have houses in the queue, properties, and really it takes treasurer's office, prosecutor's office, and things are really working, I think, starting to work in the way they do in communities where the land bank is really impactful. The DTAC. So I would suspect that if you look a year from now, things are really going to be flowing. So, and it's always the hardest when you do it the first time, right? That's where the heaviest lift is. So we're making good progress there. Moving on to new business. Last meeting we discussed 369 Yale Avenue. The back of your agenda has a letter from Ms. Lori Wallace. She attended the last meeting and spoke. She has made an application to acquire 361 Neal, a nice letter to accompany it. Seth and I have discussed, and her offer does meet all the terms within our policy around offer price, auditor's value, covering of administrative fees, that sort of thing. So we are presented with today the opportunity to entertain her purchase officer. I'm of the opinion that it's a good offer and fits well within our policies. And we can put this up for discussion, but I'd be in favor of.
So moved.
Thank you.
Get this thing off. There's a couple of them.
All right, so I have a motion and a second to approve purchase officer for 369 Neal from Ms. Lori Wallace. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Great. Should be happy to do that. Okay. Unless anybody else has other new business, we'll move on to public participation. Any public participation? We're about to set a record here.
I can tell you right.
Oh, shit. There goes my record.
Quick question.
Yeah.
I purchased a property at sheriff's sale in July.
Okay.
And what I understood based on talking with Tricia, the demolition based on criteria established that had to be the hoops jumped through should have happened in December. We're now moving on to the middle of January. Property that I purchased, I can't get liability insurance on it. I was worried about during some of the high winds, having stuff fly off and damage somebody else's property. I can't get it insured. Is there some way to initiate when these guys bid on this property, or the demolition, excuse me, to make it happen a little bit quicker so it just doesn't linger on and on?
Yeah, the bid packets have a time frame within which the demolitions have to happen. Off the top of my head, I don't know what time frame we put into that bid packet, but that's just about every bid I've ever been a part of, whether it's road construction.
There's a timeline that they have to have.
Correct, yeah.
Right.
And there's penalties and that sort of thing. So I don't know what this timeline was. But.
And I understand that, but with some of the properties that are going up for bid, getting insurance to keep from damage somebody else's property is not going to be just solely my issue. With the way things are structured, is there any way to make something like this a little bit more positive moving forward? Because my personal opinion of 6 months from the time you buy something until you can get it tore down, I was almost to the point of taking my hoe up there and tearing it down myself, just for the simple fact to reduce the potential for liability.
Sure. Well, you know, you can put do it in a week, you just pay for it, right? And so this is grant money, and we're trying to be good stewards of that grant money. So we'll double check what the parameters are that we have in place. But I think also going forward, we got plenty of these that need to be torn down that are not significant risk issues in a similar manner. So I think it's a good thing for us to consider going forward for sure. I think this situation, they were bundled. The bids were all together.
Right.
So yeah, we'll look into what deadlines we put on it. I can't remember. I think some of them are done. Some of the demolitions are done, and some of them are still coming. So yeah, I don't know if any urgency was given to the bidder on the front end, but good idea.
That's what we're going. Is your property on that list of being torn down? Okay.
Yeah.
It's been on the list from the inception. It's just it went through the sheriff's sale process where I purchased it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then it's just been a slow process to get everything done. But I think, if nothing else, the criteria on some of these structures, based on how bad they are, because this one was fire damaged, totally uninhabitable, the roof was blown off of it. And like I said, my biggest concern was damage to somebody else's property.
From the wind.
From the wind and that kind of stuff, and having no control over and not being able to get it insured. So you might want to scrutinize how you determine which one gets torn down first, at the very minimum, moving forward, so that potential problems are eliminated before they could become a problem.
I think the property that you're talking about, if you'd have had the fire marshal or your fire chief sign off on it that says that it was a hazard, it might have probably moved it up on the list, because if it's the hazard, the fire chief could sign. There's a form that he can sign off on that says it's a hazard, and you could probably. I'm not saying it would be moved up, but you know
Right.
that would give you a little more leverage where you could be moved up.
And you know, just like I was saying at the beginning of the meeting, these are live and learn, right? And some of them are going to have more urgency.
I mean, I'm just looking for protection for everybody, not
Yeah.
just myself.
How long ago did the fire happen?
It's been over 3 years.
Yeah, that's far, yeah.
So 3 years, we got it done in 6 months. I'm feeling pretty good.
And that's not the issue. The
Yeah.
issue is
You bought it.
every year
Yeah.
that goes by, it gets to be more of an issue for everybody's structures around it.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I don't disagree. Yeah, I think that I'm just glad the land bank can help.
Who was awarded a contract on those two in Kingston? I was up there over the weekend.
Do you remember the name?
It was Mike Winland, Big Dog Forestry.
Okay, I'm not familiar.
Yeah.
Excavator was sitting at one of them.
Was it?
Over the weekend.
Good.
So.
Good. Yeah, and we had heard from them last week that they were, yeah, so. And I think that, you know, maybe on the front end, we can find out if there's those sorts of concerns.
Sure.
Now, I don't know, yeah, that individual liability issue is a rare occurrence, because most of the time when we're tearing down, it's because nobody's paid any attention to it for a long time, so that's a good point.
And I think maybe we could, when we have that contract done with that, we can, you know, you think we could do, you know, here's 4 buildings you gotta tear down, and I'm gonna have 1, 2, 3 Main Street tore down at this time, and
Yeah, for
4,
sure.
5, 6 Main Street tore down at this time, and
Yeah, one takes, you have to do in the next 30 days, the next 5 could be the next 6 months.
Yeah.
There's no reason you can't put the bid.
yeah, we can't, you know, if they have to have them torn down and stuff like that, they should have a time period when they're gonna get to them. That way we'll understand, you know, it may be April before you get to it again.
Yeah.
So that way we can at least have a timeline of when they're gonna get to a certain property.
For sure, yeah, I like that.
Is there a place where we can see this demolition list? Or is that not public?
Oh, that's public. Yeah, we, trying to think the last place it was. I don't think it's on the website or anything, but.
Yeah, but we can put it on the website.
Yeah, it's just a bid list that we put out. When did we go out to bid?
Maybe late summer. Yeah, we had them on the website when we were soliciting bids, and then we removed
Okay.
them, but.
We can just email it to you. But
Yeah.
I was just curious if 97 Rose Street was on that list or not.
We'll find out. Any other public comment? Questions, concerns? All right, next meeting. Look into March. Monday. Wishful thinking today.
Yeah, you tried it. Jeff will be out looking for that.
You said the 9th?
Mhm.
Yes. What time?
Same time, 10:30?
10:30, okay?
Great. All right, we'll be here the 9th of March. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, everybody.
97 years.
Okay, well, before you leave, I got a question. The ones that, the petitions that are filed.
Yes. So that was a property that was on the plan, but.
So the process is that if foreclosure goes up to auction, we had it on our list for replacement, and we had to remove it because of the there are various.
So it's progressed enough so where there are some permits and zoning was considered from that sufficient.
That was the site that the brownfields were deal with also, or?
That would have been the location. Yeah, brownfield, any old gas station.
There's a couple depending on whether or not.
We actually have our next round we got five.
So that's
that would have been, and if it falls through.
Okay, now I have, here's another one.
Let me stay close.
The one on Church.
Plan on one unless you tell me otherwise.
244 Church Street, Roxville,
That house has been sitting there.
There's water.
I've heard, I don't know where this is at, but I heard that when you walk the house behind.
I was assuming one was, the other was.
Yeah, all this is, public permit information.
Somebody said there's gonna be a Chick-fil-A showing up in the parking lot that Lowe's decided.
Yeah, I know that there was some preliminary discussions, I just don't know, like. But
Yeah, it came in there.
those two things I've heard, have definitely been conversations.
There are on the property,
Right.
Real
good, how are you?
Take care.
Yeah, the new owner, it would be like if it did go for, if someone did it, when he did, it would be their responsibility to.
Right, yeah, I know that if you get some, you know, that one on Church Street. Nobody bid on it. Twice. Nobody bid on it.
It's in the hands of the land bank now.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that and bring out.
Put another freaking
I
camper in there.
about that.
Camper in there, and they got, now you can, all the trees are dead, no leaves, no weeds, nothing scattered. Got like 2 or 3 kits in there. I was thinking about going.
We'll work with the land bank. Plan on one unless you're on watch.
Okay, sir, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just to maintain.
How we doing? Okay.
You don't know me. You're the only one who doesn't have at least 3 or 5 decades with me. Can I approach?
Yes. We got about 10 minutes before sheriff gets here.
Yes, hi.
Hi, Dave Glass, nice to meet you.
Yes, that's Dr. Barbara Manning. And I have 46 years of
Come back.
house center and.
Come back, I don't know why.
Well, I was full president, but I used to be the executive director last year, being the executive director. But my family got 80 years. Yeah. Clean that up. Right. I'm on Facebook.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Okay.
How are you guys?
Friend of Diane
All right,
Collins.
Kathy, Mike, let's test
My sister.
This one I have to do.
Deputy director. Cheryl Lugan. Yeah. She has a younger sister. Okay. But my family has 80 years combined. My children, my brother was a lawyer.
Hey, how you doing? Good, how are you?
Kathy. I know you. I know you.
My bachelor degree is
And you use all of it, right?
no, actually not. Actually, I'm the creator of this communication line.
It's
or anything that I do, because the last 7 years, it's happened a lot. I have people still crying on going, what? And it just, I'm not used to it. Well, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, come on in. You want to sit here?
Hello, sir.
Sit behind
How are
you.
you? Where are you going? Don't hide back there. I'm here.
Oh. He's giving me a job.
No, it's really not.
Are they all the same? No, I asked for it to be in 3. Who's this?
Well, that kind of threw me off.
Yeah, I thought you were coming in to talk about something outside.
I am. The only thing I wanted to bring that up real quick, so the Barb has billed us for $42.54 what a quarter of that would be, okay? The cost, and they are in the jail. So we just wanted to run that and get it. We talked to the auditor, everything looks in order, am I right, Jeff? Everything looks in order on that, as long as the commissioner's trying to give it his blessing so that we can move on.
So Sheriff and Barb have contracted for Sada Paint Valley Mental Health to do services inside the jail. So the contract was signed last week. We received a grant from the state that they're using the grant proceeds to pay Sada Paint Valley Mental Health. So this is an appropriation request.
That's opioid remediation grant that Kim applied for with Barb's help. They put it together and we got approved on that money, so that money's in there.
This is no general fund money. This is 100% state funded. It's just Cherokee using this grant to provide.
And that don't only give us somebody in there interviewing and suicidal people, but it also gives our staff training. They will be training our staff to pick up on things that's out of the norm and maybe, you know.
Is this a grant that was requested specifically by Kim, or is this part of our opiate ward settlement?
No, this is the opiate remediation. It's a separate grant for jail.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
It has nothing to do with the settlement.
Okay.
No.
So that's the appropriation. This is the invoice for the quarterly payment. This is the contract that sheriff and Mark.
We're just getting billed, that's why I brought it up today.
Yeah. I think props to the sheriff, to Barb, to Ken, who's been a great value for our team and going out and finding us.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
She's done great.
Is that a motion? So moved. Is that a second?
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're good. Okay. Thank you.
So, Barb, I will, can we say, how about 3 o'clock? Is that good?
Perfect.
Okay. Let me take care of it.
See ya.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, now shifting gears a little bit. There's 2 other things I want to discuss. First of all, something that's going to be appearing in the news. My office, along with Chillicothe Police Department.
Wait, do you need executive session or you?
No.
Okay, all right.
BCI, FBI, Internet Crimes Against Children, Major Crime Task Force, Department of Public Safety, State Highway Patrol. This last couple of days, this last week, they were working on sexual predators in our community against children, okay? We had the front anti-rooney room set up. I know. And there was 6 arrests made out of this, but there was a lot of contact. So there's a lot of that going on in Ross County. I just wanted to make you guys aware. It will be hitting the press today, okay? So.
Is that to continue, is that a continued process of?
They will be
With
continuing.
the contacts that they've made?
They will be following up on the contacts and continuing that. So, you know, matter of fact, one person had used the identity of another one, and we picked that guy at first, and he was cleared, thank God, because he could have served a lot of time if he wouldn't have been cleared, but he was cleared through the diligence of Chase Carter from, you know, the prosecutor's office, and then to get him cleared and get the other guy convicted. So I just wanted to let you know about that. And we also had a hit skip accident last night on Denver Road that ended up the guy got killed. So that was a pedestrian hit skip. He was in his yard pretty much and got hit. So that's cool.
Where was this at?
It was on Denver Road, 5860 Denver Road. Joshua Hopkins was hit. We're looking for that vehicle now. And, you know, he was taken to Columbus, life flight to Columbus, and he succumbed to his injuries. So that's a death that we're investigating. Now, budget. In our budget, we asked for 2 additional communications officers, 2 road officers. We asked for 2 corrections officers and 1 civil. Now, we weren't awarded those positions, but when you look at what we wasn't awarded, if you would have looked at the 4 people that would have made up in the law, that would have been $230,547.20. But we were short on our budget request, $739,240. So if you take that, what we asked for the new officers off, and you put it, and you take that against what we were short, we're still going to be $508,693 short on our actual payroll, and she figures that with overtime to the minute. So we're still going to be $500,000 short in law division on payroll with our wages, with our increase in the wages and stuff like that. We're going to be that short, you know, and that's not with the 2 new positions. The 2 corrections officers, it would have been $116,334. We were short at $689,175 on our budget request, which makes us short on payroll $572,841. And in civil, it's minor, it's $2,081. We requested 1. We weren't funded for that, but we were also taken, and we'll be short on the budget, $2,081.69. This is all, she figures that to the T, you know, with realistic based on what we used in the previous years and the payroll expenses, you know, with the raise increases. It looks like we're going to be over $1 million short on budget and payroll. The only other thing I can see in the budget is in contract service in the law division, we're $21,000 short. last year we expended $233,551 and we were given $182,200. So I think we're going to be short in that. And also jail food, we expended $437 and we was given $407. So I think we're going to be short there. We expended $424 and our new budget was $407. So both of those is kind of in question, but mainly the salaries. I mean, the salaries, I think, is not going to be proportional to what we're figuring on using. And I know sometimes we don't have all the positions filled. And Mike's going to talk to you about the communications. We really do need the 2 communications officers. The law, road patrol, we'll work on that when we get them all up to staff, okay? Because we've never been up staff. That's the hardest position for us to fill because you got to have the credentials for that job position. We are training people out of the corrections to advance in their careers and go forward, where we're paying that with a commitment letter that they're going to stay with us for a while. So, we are doing that. I think Gary's pretty much up to staff now.
I'm 1 short and I got 3 applications for that 1 position.
So, I mean, we're going to fill the corrections position, but the communications, I'll have Mike explain to you where we're at on that. Mike, go ahead.
In our communications division, the problem is we have no relief factor. We have, and I've got this is what there's 3 dispatchers scheduled or assigned to each shift. We're currently on standard 8-hour shifts, 7A to 3P, 3P to 11, and 11P to 7A. With the 911 rules, we need most times 2 dispatchers in there. If we let 1 dispatcher off by contract, that leaves us short. They're getting burnt out. They're getting forced a lot. In theory, to have the relief factor that we need 5 more dispatchers. But we had asked for 2 because one of the things that we did was we came up with a 12-hour schedule. It's a 12-hour schedule based on 80-hour pay week, so there's no overtime involved. One of the dispatchers on one of their days goes home 4 hours early.
Why is that?
What's that?
Why is that?
So we don't have any overtime with the 12-hour schedule. So what we do is, what we've learned is...
He doesn't mean now, he means with our new schedule we would be going to keep them so that they're not in an overtime position, and it would work out because we would have that coverage.
Our busiest times, our calls for service, our busiest times are from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. At 10 o'clock in the morning, the calls for service start ramping up. They peak somewhere around 7 p.m. and then they start dropping back off. So on the 12-hour schedules, for example, on one of the dispatcher's days that they're scheduled, they wouldn't come in till 11 a.m. and work till 7 to get, so they would only have in a 2-week period 80 hours. And what the 12-hour schedule does, it allows a relief factor because it allows for 3 people scheduled every single day.
So what you're saying is you have 2 people on a dispatch ship at all times?
We have 2 people assigned to each. Right now we have 2 people assigned to a dispatch ship. If we give one person, and a lot of times by the contract, we have to allow the time off. So when we give that person the time off, that creates overtime. And someone's getting forced.
Time off and vacation.
Vacation, comp time,
I mean, that's
holidays.
24/7, 365 operation. We get that.
Yeah. And it's caught, we're burning our dispatchers out.
Because anytime somebody's off, the other person has to work 16 hours.
So
It's hard.
your recommendation is go to 3 per shift.
Well, no, our recommendation is to go to hire 2 people, so we can go to this 12-hour schedule.
Right, but it's 3 people.
3 people would be assigned, or
Right.
3 people would be scheduled every day, so that would give us a relief factor of 1. We could still let 1 person off and still have 2
And be
people to
within the
cover
contract,
shift.
but also be within, you know, not having people forced overtime.
What is the, if you don't have any, if you have 2 people come in out of the 3, and there's no days off, there's no going home early, they're full shifts, what do you do with that 3rd person?
Well, you have 1 person as a call taker, takes the calls. In theory, in a perfect world, you would have 3 people at all times. You would have a call taker, you would have law enforcement dispatch, and you would have county EMS and fire dispatch. Because that's, you know, that's one of our problems. Not only do they take care of all of our guys, they're every volunteer fire department out there, and they, with the engineer's office, you know, it's a county-wide dispatching system. They,
You know, Udi's lived this life, for the benefit of David and I, can you explain like a normal day with the frequency of calls that come in? What is that like?
Okay.
I'm sure you have your high.
You'll never have a normal day.
You
could be sitting there
never have a normal day.
sitting there for 8 hours and never receive a phone call.
If you
could be sitting there for 8 hours and receive a phone call every second.
If you like have a wreck, you're going to get 50 911 calls about that one wreck. Okay, and yes, you might be answering the phone. Yes, we're aware of that, but you still got to answer that phone because that 911 call could be something else that is very important. So you just can't not answer the phone. So they go through a lot anymore, especially with the cell phones. Since the increase in cell phones, the call volumes over there has increased dramatically. A lot of sheriff's offices got away from central dispatching and put it to the EMA. You know, we're still keeping that within our division because I like to have the control of that for the simple reason, if I got an officer in trouble, I want to be able to control the dispatchers. If something happens bad, I want to be able to send some people in there and set them down and have them help them. We do that a lot. I mean, it's just not, you know, there's a lot of times they get so overwhelmed in there, we'll have people go over there and help them. And I think Mike can attest to that. There's a lot of times we have them go and help. Anything major, we send somebody in dispatch to help cover dispatch, but 2 people is not going to be enough. You got all that radio traffic coming in, you got light flight, you got all that to deal with. I mean, these people, you know, everybody that wants a squad, okay, now you answer the 911 call. You talk to the radio people trying to get somebody to respond. You're putting out I am responding. You know, everybody's yelling at you about I'm going or we're not able to respond, send such and such. And they'll go through 3 or 4 times of dispatching. Sometimes they have to go all tones across the county because we can't get a squad to come out and cover the thing. There's a lot on these people's plate. It's not a typical day in there. You know, you have some people that calls and I lock my keys in the car. Can you get somebody here? Then they'll call back. How long till they're coming? You know, on the squad, we get repeated calls about how long is it going to take to get a squad here. You know,
You give out medical advice and
we have to keep them on the phone.
And the EMD, the EMD dispatching requirement now, they're required to stay on the phone with that person.
Yeah, if there's medical emergency, they pull up a card, a dispatch card on that, and let's say it's a heart failure, you know, they walk that person through what that person do, but they have to stay on that phone, so that leaves one person answering anything else that's coming in and the squad's in the fire, because you can't deviate from that call to help the squads in the fire. So it's really overwhelming in there. 3 people would help. You know, it would definitely help, because like I said, there's so many times we'll send people in there to help because they're so overwhelmed they can't handle the call.
I just need some scale and scope here, because you know, if it's 70% sitting on their hands and 30% just working like mad, that's what I need to know.
You're more than welcome. You and Dave both are more than welcome. Come over there and watch that dispatch center.
I would like to, really.
It would overwhelm.
I'd probably pick a dead day, and I'm going with George West.
Yeah, but no, I mean, they do. I couldn't go and run dispatch anymore. I couldn't do it. You know, I'm just not up on all the things they have to do, all the policies and procedures and everything they have to do. Because if Twain can't take a run, there's 3 divisions in Twin Township that they have to look up and see which one handles that area because of the mapping, okay? They have to look all that up and see and then dispatch off of that. And they're constantly catching hell because it takes them so long to get a call out there when, you know, and Twin's not gonna take it because they already said they can't handle their call. So we have to look at that. We got no mapping yet, but you have to pull up all that and then dispatch the appropriate things. Well, if they're not available, then you gotta look and see who to dispatch off of that. So it's quite a job. And like I said, we invite you to come over and look at it. You know,
I'd like to, because, you know, when you bring up EMA, you know, EMA's job is to clean up the mess. Your job is to stop the chaos.
Yeah.
So you need first call. I totally get that. And Mark gets that. But, you know.
I mean, if we were just dispatching for us, we would be perfect, but with all the other duties that our dispatchers have, dealing with all the other county fire and EMS and engineer's office, like I said, they're just getting burnt out. They came to us.
But I'll kind of debate Mike on that. When you have 2 people in there, you don't have a release factor. If somebody takes off, you are forcing somebody that's from the off-going shift. Basically, if somebody calls in and says, hey, I'm sick, I can't come in, that person now that would think they were getting off in 8 hours is working 16 if they don't get somebody to come in and relieve them, which they do a lot. But they mostly usually work 12 hours and they get somebody else to cover the other 4, so they're working 12 hours. And then, you know, it just gets monotonous where they'll say, well, you know, here she's doing that again, and she might really be sick. You know, we've had people over there that's sick. And, you know, then they'll sit there and somebody else will call off and then they'll get screwed. So
that's, you know, what we look for in the budgeting process is that it's one thing to work yourself into a corner pretty often with somebody with bad absenteeism. But when you got somebody with bad absenteeism, what are you doing about it?
And we are addressing that. I mean, we are writing them up. We are making them accountable. They come before me. They're given days off if it's excessive, okay? If I see them 2 or 3 times, you can bet they're gonna get days off.
Yeah.
But then again, you're giving them days off and you're forcing somebody else to work over.
But by the same token, if you pack up a staff to take care of the absenteeism, you're enabling the absenteeism.
Well, the sick leave and dispatch, that's one of the things I looked at. It's very nominal. It's very, it's just
mostly vacation.
The entitled time off.
Entitled time off, you know, a lot of times they'll put in for comp time because they know that they can't get off because of that, and they build up their comp time.
Well, we built a system here where it's easy to take time off, and we've done that to ourselves.
We have.
It's just the sick leave, the comp time, all of that. You're trying to save money on overtime.
And
so
you know, and
then you got to pay the piper sometime.
And that's exactly what I'm going to address in the next contract, just to put it out there. Let them buy back some of their time. That way they don't use as much sick leave and that, you know.
They've worked overtime, they deserve the pay.
Right.
Just pay overtime.
And I'd rather pay it as we go along than pay it lump sum at the end when they go out. Because that's another thing that hurts me with being on this budget. If I lose somebody, that's not built into the schedule. I pay that, and of course I can come back at the end of the year and say, hey, don't you forget, I have to have a relief on that.
Well, that's how, you know, when we do budgeting, that's why I ask, who do you anticipate to retire?
Yeah.
So the financial part of that, we can get ready for.
And you know, it's just anymore, sir, it's not so much all the retirement, it's the bouncing around. They'll come work for 4 or 5 years and say, oh, I'm going to do another job because I'm still here, and they'll go over, well, you got to pay that out then too. So, you know, we have a lot of that. Or some people we just dismiss for calls and we got to pay them out. So.
Understand. I think we need to chew on this a little bit, and you know, we've heard what you said.
Okay.
I've heard what you said.
Okay. So. And again, what I'm trying for is just to catch up what we asked for, and maybe the 2 dispatchers, if you guys find it in your heart. And like I said, please come over and look at that division. It's there, and it's up and running every day. And every day, it's chaos. It really is. So.
What I want to see is you learn to live with full staff, because you haven't done that very much.
No, and
I understand why.
But you know, unfortunately, we've learned to live that way. But it's also dangerous to our people.
Well, yeah, and what I'm saying is get up to full staff and let's see what that looks like.
I know.
That's why you budgeted to run.
Yes.
You know, and the new hires are additional, and that's where our red flags go.
Yeah.
We haven't even been running on full staff, and now we're.
Well, corrections has been pretty full most of the time.
Every department, you ask for new people.
Oh, I know. And you know, it's just like in corrections. We might say we're 1 or 2 people down, but really you're 5 or 6 people because they can't stand the post until they're trained. And then when you lose somebody, you gotta hire somebody else to train them. It usually takes 4 or 6 months before you wanna put them on a post. And we gotta understand that's the cost of doing business. So. But that's welcome to you. Please take that under advisement, let me know.
Yeah, no, I would just say, hold on, you know, from the standpoint of like, you know, we take a look at the whole budget, and I don't think anyone was wanting to pick on the sheriff's budget. What we do for every department is you look at the request per line item, and then you look at, you know, what the trend of actual spend is in that line item, and I think we went across there and looked at that. As Jack said, for your budget, I think we had a hard time supporting new positions in departments where there were still open positions. And I don't think that's us saying we're not going to fill or provide an appropriation for new positions, but let's look at when we're challenged to balance the budget in the beginning of the year. Let's get to that, cross that bridge when we get there. For 911 in general, I think, for me, I think you're making a compelling case. I think Jack's right. Let's chew on it. But we want 911 to operate the way that it needs to operate. And I'm hearing what you're saying on that for those positions. I think it was something we talked about and had some back and forth, and we had to make the budget balance and make it work. You know, Jeff Creed mentioned to me recently, you know, some of the recommendations out of the EMS plan that happened before I got here, that some of it spoke to 911 and dispatch, and I haven't seen those, or I saw them years ago and haven't revisited them, but I think all of that stuff fits within what you're saying, Mike, when you say, you know, we're not just doing this, we've got calls that are going out all over the place for all different entities and jurisdictions. So I think there's a conversation there to be had about that. But what did you say that the difference was for the 2 new positions? Like 200,000 is what you're short on that?
Well, that.
I just want to make sure we know what that.
With the 2 road patrol officers and the 2 communications officers, it was 230,000. Okay.
Okay.
But that too, I would have to get specific on what it would be for the communications officer. This is for 4 officers, not 2, okay? So we would cut that in half, I'm sure. And then, again, this is what we requested. This was with that involved in. So then when we take this off, because we didn't get the positions, this is what we're actually short on our budget going forward into the year.
No, that's just pay.
Huh?
That's just wage.
That's just wages, and of course overtime figured in that too.
Is there benefits?
Huh?
Is there benefits?
That's part of
Well, the benefits would be outside of this. This is just the pay.
Okay. Well, that's part of what
It's still reflective of the benefits, yes.
So we need to talk after staff.
Okay, yeah.
And who would I get with to do a ride along with dispatch?
To come into dispatch, just call us, let us know when you want to come over. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, I want to do that.
Now, the only thing you can't view leads. Leads is a thing that you have to have training, you have to be certified.
Whatever I'm allowed to do or not.
Now, something else I want you guys to remember too. We got to maintain so many dispatchers because of 911. They got to answer these calls. But we also get 911 funding. You guys have used that before to do dispatchers. I don't think you guys did that this time, but there is money that we keep some out for. We keep some out for the cost of the equipment, but we've always put back into. You guys have always requested and taken out for funding for dispatchers too, and that usually.
I think we used part of that already for Banfield, said the same over here, about $90,000.
Yeah, but remember, 911 funding went. 911 funding went up, and we'll see an increase in that. So you guys should still have 100 to 200,000 in wages that you can pull from that. And that's a Jeff question.
But that requires your approval.
Yeah.
So they can make that request, but then you've got to say yes to it. So I think that there's got to be some serious coordinating taking place between all three of our offices on all of this.
That's why we gotta chew on this a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
that's-
I
yeah.
think, I actually think maybe it's like a best practice, we do like a monthly check-in and a work session, you guys, me, Sheriff, just to say, hey, where are we? You know, the thing about the beginning of the year appropriations is that if you're thinking of it as like a static, unchanging document, that really just doesn't work because, you know, your needs make change over the course of the year.
Sure.
As they discussed, you have positions that are unfilled, and so when you go back to December when we were having these conversations, it's like, how do we fund above and beyond what the current needs
How can we
are
fund somebody who's not there? That's my
that aren't even being realized? And so that was a big part of the conversation, and then you look at like the last 3 years spending trends, and so that's how the numbers that were arrived at kind of came to be. But on a moving forward basis, I just think that we need to get together frequently, monthly.
That monthly
say,
thing.
Where are
We were talking about that earlier.
And I think the best setting to do that would be one of these Friday work sessions where we can sit down for an hour uninterrupted and just have a real conversation. We can put the numbers up on the screen and say, okay, where are the needs? Have we met them or not? And if we haven't, then we're having a conversation, I think, about can we facilitate this via a transfer of existing appropriations in a line where maybe we don't have a need to kind of reallocate.
You know,
versus
I-
brand new appropriations.
And I can understand, I think we need to meet too. You know, my thing is, I've always prepared a budget for what I feel costs me to run that office, okay? And all I can do is present what I figure is gonna cost me if I'm full staffed, okay? Because I can't sit there and say, well, I'm down 2 or 3 now, so I can't look at that. I gotta keep those positions open so I can hire for those positions. If somebody comes in that's qualified, you know, I want them out here protecting our public. That's the whole thing that I look at this for. This is what it's gonna cost me to protect the citizens of Ross County, citizens of Chillicothe, because I have that responsibility too, to serve papers through the court and do all this that I have to do. You know, we got a very multifaceted job that we have to do, and you know, it takes a lot of officers to do it. So all I can do is really present budget. It's up to you guys to approve that budget, and if we don't approve it, we got to talk about it. I mean, that's something we have to
Two
do.
parting thoughts, George. We want a safe county, period. We want a safe county. And the second one is how many times have we told you no?
Oh, I know, I agree with that, you know.
But we need to know why. And when you explain why and we get it, then that makes everything a whole lot easier.
Okay, sounds good. Just
Hey, before you go, something we are all surely going to agree on. I have already gotten an email from Barb Mahaney asking that she get the remainder of that 170,000 right now.
no.
That's not gonna happen.
I'm gonna tell her no.
No.
Bill us quarterly.
No, because if they spend it and then we don't have the person, I disagree with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, she doesn't.
You guys go down to meet, they're having a tour at 12 o'clock.
No, they're not having a tour. It's a fundraiser. No, I'm not going.
Okay, well, they wanted me to come down.
Of course
Sure, $2,500 per head. Go ahead.
No, it's for security of the plant.
Oh, what? They got security. They got their own security down there.
I know, but they wanted to know that, and they're having the chief come down. Hey, they're giving me free gloves.
There
I'm
you
free gloves.
go. There you go.
Good job.
See it.
I'll be there.
Or they want the sheriff to guard Vivek against his own bodyguard. Did you see that?
Hey,
Vivek's bodyguard?
we had presidents,
I saw that.
contenders and everything, and presidents come to Chillicothe and they had their Secret Service and all that stuff. We still had to have police right on the line.
Yeah.
He's
It's all
talking
part
about
of
the
it.
guy who got arrested.
Jeff, do you have the additional appropriation that Jeff brought up?
Which one's that?
$170,000. Jeff, was that $170,000?
That was,
Yeah, we did agree with that.
but to what we gave you back on there with all the signed paper.
It is on there?
Appropriation.
The payment is like 42,500.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in
Okay,
there.
that is
Yeah.
on there. All right, we got it. I'll send it down.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, my own department happy didn't show up. Give me that email. That just went to you.
And then Barb just sent me another email.
Yeah, see, she knows me. She's not emailing me.
I'm gonna tell her
No.
Yes.
Big
Or-
bold letters.
yes.
No.
I want to make
just
motion.
discussed with commissioners and sheriff, we're gonna stick with quarterly.
Yeah.
Motion to
Second.
Adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. And we're back here at 1 o'clock, right?